Do you want to know how to make the best watermelon frosé? An easy frozen drink recipe that's made with fresh watermelon chunks, your favorite bottle of wine, and then blended until smooth and slushy. Hey there, I'm London Brazil from evolvingtable.com, where you learn how to make nourishing meals and drinks to serve the ones you love. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this easy watermelon frosé. Even though summer has barely begun, I am already so obsessed with making every single possible frozen drink under the sun. What first started off with this easy 3-ingredient frozen lemonade has quickly evolved to include a few more boozy and adult options like this watermelon frosé. What exactly is frosé, you say? It's a blended cocktail made from frozen fruit and rosé wine. In a classic frosé recipe, you'll typically use strawberries as the fruit. But y'all, this recipe is anything but basic because we're using juicy watermelon chunks and a little bit of mint to take it over the top. So if you're ready to get to rosé making, then come on in and let's get started. As I'm sure you've already guessed, the main ingredient in this frozen drink is rosé wine. While you can't really go wrong, there are a few different types that work better in this recipe. Pinot Noir and Malbec rosé wines tend to be a beautiful and bright pink or red color. While you can always use a sandy colored wine, your finished drink won't have that same pop of color. Picking a dry versus a sweet wine is absolutely your personal preference. If you prefer your frozen drinks a little bit more on the sweeter side, you might want to opt for a sweeter variety. If you prefer them on the dry side, pick a wine with a slightly higher ABV. Not always foolproof, but generally a good indication of the relative amount of sugar added. And lastly, you want to love the taste of the wine all by itself. After all, the rosé wine is only one of 2 main ingredients, so the finished drink will taste a lot like the wine you started with. Once your favorite rosé wine is selected, you'll want to pour the entire bottle into a large freezer-safe container. Cover with a lid and freeze for at least 4 hours or up to overnight. Due to the alcohol content, the rosé wine will not freeze completely, but instead will have a slushy consistency once fully frozen. Next, let's prepare the watermelon to be frozen. You can either cut an entire watermelon into 1-inch chunks, and you can learn how at the video right up here, or you can buy the pre-cut kind from your grocery store. Place 3 cups of seedless watermelon chunks in a single layer on a baking sheet or in a freezer-safe container. Cover with a piece of plastic wrap or wax paper and freeze for at least 4 hours or up to overnight. Now that the wine and the watermelon chunks are nice and frozen, it's time to get to blending. The type of blender you use is a critical step in determining how smooth and slushy your frosé gets. My personal preference is a Vitamix, since it's large enough to fit all of the ingredients and powerful enough to make the frosé perfectly smooth. If you don't happen to have a Vitamix, you can still make this frosé recipe in smaller batches using a NutriBullet, or add all of your ingredients to a large food processor. Add frozen wine, 3 cups of watermelon chunks, 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey. You can also always use agave nectar if you're vegan, or regular white sugar if you do not care to avoid refined sugar, and 2 tablespoons of fresh sweet mint. Cover the blender with a lid and blend on medium to medium-high power for 1 to 2 minutes, or until it is completely smooth. This recipe yields enough watermelon frosé for about 4 servings. You can also always double this recipe if you're making it for a party. A great way to serve this summer drink is in a cute glass with a watermelon wedge, a sprig of mint, and a paper straw. And now my favorite part, the taste test, or I guess in this case, the taste sip. Oh my goodness, it tastes like you're drinking like boozy watermelon juice. I guess it's pretty much what it is. If you liked what you saw here today, make sure you check out these other easy drink recipes. Thanks so much for hanging out, y'all. I'll see you again soon.